If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our October 8th, 2023 edition of Open Mic America. I'm Rich Fassler, your MC for tonight's show, and I'm joined tonight by Ron Smith, our engineer, and Daphna Ramil, our interviewing host. As some of you may already know, our mission at Open Mic America is to support your local open mics. Without gimmicks and frills, this is the beating heart of American music. It's that tapestry of story and song that has been weaving us together for generations. It's a real pleasure to introduce tonight's performers, representing exceptional talent from the East Coast, the Midwest, and the West Coast. You can find links to their work on our website and on this YouTube video. So tonight's singer-songwriters include Diane Battistello from Norton, Mass., Dan and Faith from Charlestown, New Hampshire, Thomas Perry from East Bridgewater, Massachusetts, Don Gibbs from Billerica, Massachusetts. Hope I said that right. And a great showing from Massachusetts. We've got three people. Yours truly, Rich Fassler from Bainbridge Island, Washington, John Gary from Stowe, Ohio, and Chuck Brodsky from Asheville, North Carolina. So let's get on with the show. Our first guest tonight is Diane Battistello from Norton, Mass. She plays both virtual and live open mics. Virtually, she plays on the Hearing Room in New Hampshire, which is on Tuesdays, and she plays live open mics, Askew in Providence, Rhode Island on Mondays, TD's Pub, Milford, Mass. On Wednesdays. So, Diane, it's all yours.
Hi, Rich. Thank you. Good to see everybody. It's been a while. Thanks for hosting this wonderful open mic, Dave and Daphna and Rich. So both of my songs tonight are on the humorous side. The first one is called Aging, and I actually had to write it because I sent an email to someone that said, "My feet hurt, my knees don't work, and I'm going to throw my mirror out." Then after you hit send, you're like, oh no, what do you do now? So I said, okay, what key are you going to sing it in? So here it is. My feet hurt, my knees don't work, I'm going to throw my mirror out. I creak and crack, I creak and crack, got an achy back. What is this all about? Age is catching up with me. I will not go there gracefully, no, no, no. I will not go there gracefully, 'cause I don't want to. Sheep, I cannot sleep, is ringing in my ears, and won't you help me, please help me find my keys, 'cause I thought I left them on the table right here, but age is catching up with me, and I will not go there gracefully, no, 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 I will not go there gracefully, 'cause I don't want to. Saying goes that youth is wasted on the young, but if only I could go back there, I'd do some other things. I I could have done. But now, the years spin past much too fast. My brown hair's turned all gray, and I try to do things I used to do. Sometimes I have to turn and walk away, 'cause age is catching up with me. No, I will not go there gracefully, no. I will not go there gracefully, 'cause I don't want to. No. All right, I'll go if you go. We can all go, right? All of us baby boomers. Okay. All saw yourself in that song, I bet, right? So this.
Wait.
There. Was I? Okay. Whew. This next song is called Raining Out. And we had so much rain this summer. And actually, I wrote it in 2021 when we had a lot of rain then, too. But I think we had more rain this summer. Song to my dog. There's nothing we can do, 'cause it's raining out. We're stuck in the house 'cause it's raining out. And I know you wanna walk in the park. You wanna chase bunnies and bark. You got your favorite tree where you leave your mark. Oh, but it's raining out. There's nothing we can do, 'cause it's raining out. We're stuck in the house 'cause it's raining out. If it wasn't so damn dank, I just might take you to see Izzy, Patty and Mike. 'Cause they know the very best place is to hike. Oh no, we can't go, 'cause it's raining out. And tomorrow will be a different day. It's bound to be better than today. Maybe the skies will be blue, not gray. But right now, it's raining out. There's nothing we can do, 'cause it's raining out. We're stuck in the house 'cause it's raining out. That long sigh means you're feeling trapped. Come on over here, I'll make you a snack. Maybe we can just both take a long, long nap. 'Cause it's raining out. And tomorrow will be a different day. It's bound to be better than today. Maybe the skies will be blue, not gray. But right now it's raining out. Nothing we can do, 'cause it's raining out. We're stuck in the house 'cause it's raining out.
Yeah.
Hello.
I love songs to pets. That was great. And thanks. I am now going to pass you over to Daphne, and maybe we'll
Well,
learn a little more about those songs.
welcome back, Diane. I'm always excited to hear what you're going to bring us.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
It's
your
so
songs are
nice to
just
see you.
so relatable. It's like you have a way of making something artful out of everyday things that all of us really get, you know, and
Thank you
that's
so much.
special gift. As a matter of fact, I don't like growing older either. I'm sitting here at my desk. You can't see it, but my legs are stretched out straight in front of me on a stool because my knees hurt. So I got that one. You haven't been here a while, so what have you been up to, Diane?
Oh, just trying to get my life back on track. I moved, I was living in my parents' house the last time I was here. I sold that after they passed away. I moved back here. I have to say, the most wonderful people in the whole world bought the house. I feel like I moved next door, so it's wonderful. Yeah, not that I'm so wonderful, but they're wonderful, and I get along really well with them. Yeah. So just trying to settle in here, trying to garden. Bad year for gardening. Trying to write some stuff. I'm working actually on a new CD that should be out pretty soon. It's called Introverts Buffet, which was came about during the pandemic when we couldn't do anything but be an introvert, right? So it's kind of a funny song. So I have like 8 songs done on that. We're just getting 2 more on it. And then
have you written the other 2, or you haven't just recorded them yet, or are you waiting to write them?
Yes, they're written. I actually pulled one off of it, and we might try to rework it and put it back on. But so far, they're all done. I just need to record them. And I work with a wonderful engineer. His name is David Corriera, and he's at Celebration Sound Studios in Seekonk. And he is just the best. He's got 2 Grammys. He has full of ideas. If you go in with something, and he'll say, well, try this. Let's try that. Let's try this. And when you're done with it, it's just wonderful. So he does it. Really
so you don't mind when he messes with your song? He has the right
Well,
vision.
he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't. Like he makes a suggestion. You don't have to go with it. But I try to do the things that he recommends, because every time I've done that so far, it's worked out in my favor. So.
Does he play instruments, or do you bring in musicians from the outside, or is it all you? How does that work?
We brought in a harmonica player, Chris Turner, who's one of the best harmonica players in Rhode Island. He actually had a show with the Rhode Island Harmonic Orchestra last week. He was playing the harmonica, and the orchestra was behind him.
Oh, I love
he's
that.
a fantastic harmonica player. Yeah, so that's going to be good.
So how do you keep that writing flame going, Diane, when your life is just all moving along?
Well, I need to sit and work on some songs. A lot of times, they just kind of fall in my lap, and I just say, I got to get to the desk and write this down. So then you got like a basic outline, and then I have to go, and I use a near rhyme dictionary, and it's my favorite tool that I use. I find the lines that I really like, and then I find the near rhyme that I really like, and then I have to get a verse that goes with that near rhyme. So
that triggers some stuff for you.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I've never heard of a near rhyme. I've heard of a rhyming dictionary,
Yeah.
but never a near rhyme dictionary.
I like the near rhymes better.
Oh, that's something that we could all.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Well, when is your CD going to come out, you think?
Well, hopefully November.
Next
maybe
month.
the end of November. Yeah. So the next couple of weeks, I'll just be trying to get those 2 songs done, and then get the CD cover done and get them off to production. And yeah, hopefully
It'll be a perfect Christmas present, right?
And it will be. Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you for sharing your time here with us, despite the fact that you are working like a fiend to get that done. We really appreciate that you're on the show again.
Thank you so
good
much
luck
for
with
having me.
it.
I love
Thank
being here,
you.
and I love seeing all my friends here. Thank you.
And back to you, Rich.
Thank you. So, Diane, let me get this straight. The Boston Philharmonic asked a harmonica player to play with him.
Rhode Island Philharmonic.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
it was Boston.
Yeah, it was a big room. He's very good. Chris Turner, he's got a website if you want to check him out. He's excellent. Yeah.
All right. Sounds great.
I'm thrilled that he wanted to work on my song. Yeah.
Cool.
2 songs.
Good.
Yeah.
Good seeing you again.
Good to see you,
Yeah.
Rich.
All right, we are going to now kind of drive up the road here to New Hampshire, where we're going to join Dan and Faith They play at open mics in the area, specifically the PCA open mic in Westford, Mass. And they are ready to get on the road again to the Midwest. They're after this show, they're hopping in the car and they're driving off. This Friday, 10/13. Is that this Friday? Yeah, this coming Friday. God, already, it's the middle of October. They'll be at the Wild Hog in the Woods in Madison, Wisconsin. And the Wilmar Center.
The Wilmar Center is this community center where that series is put on.
Gotcha. And then the Friday after that, the following Friday at October 20th, they're going to be at the Two-Way Street Coffee House in Downers Grove, Illinois. So hopefully the weather will still be nice in the Midwest.
We're hoping. In
the middle of October. I'm sure it will be. Should be. Anyway, Dan and Faith, take it away.
Thank you. Well, we both wrote a lot of songs in February. We've talked about that the last time we were on. Something called February Album Writing Month. The idea is to write 14 songs in the 28 days of February. And we each actually accomplished that. So last time we were on, we featured a couple of our new songs, and we're going to do that again.
We're doing the same this time, one of Dan's and one of mine.
So we'll start with one of mine. I was writing a song when this song got in the way, a tale from the past that led me here today. I was not yet 20, so many years ago, a friendly hand outstretched to a kid you did not know. Along a country road that follows the river, climb up a winding path to the forest high above. In a small clearing stands a log cabin home and a rustic old barn made of love and wood and stone. So thanks for the memories, for taking me in, for making space in your lives when I needed it. Thanks for your kindness and open hearts. Thanks for the memories and thanks for this song. Out across the valley, Storm King Mountain stands. A bend in the Hudson embraces from below. The view from this home in this special place belongs to a couple with open hearts and grace. I was young and lonely, searching for my path in life, an escape from city drama and its taxing price. We met upon a sailboat, you said, come and stay. I think back on that kindness every single day. So thanks for the memories, for taking me in, for making space in your lives when I needed it. Thanks for your kindness and open hearts. Thanks for the memories and thanks for this song. We sailed and worked the gardens, watched the shifting tides, read the waves and currents as storm clouds rolled by. Each day brought new lessons to shape a young man's life. From environment to history, we stood up for what's right. Singing out for civil rights, the river and clean air. Always sharing kindness, a good meal's like a prayer. No matter where we came from, we all sang as one. We are singing still, the work is never done. So thanks for the memories, for taking me in, for making space in your lives when I needed it. Thanks for your kindness and open hearts. Thanks for the memories and thanks for this song. Thanks for your kindness and open hearts. Thanks for the memories.
Great tune. Very nice tune.
We're going to switch instruments for Faith. She's going to pick up her ukulele, and we'll play one of her new ones. These are both songs that are in the process of being recorded for a future album.
Yep. Diane's not the only one who's taking the time to do some recording, so we're probably not going to have this out for Christmas.
No,
no,
it's going to be next year sometime,
Yeah.
but we don't know exactly when yet.
We're planning on 2024. So, all right. So yes, this was one of my February ones, and this one, a little bit of background. This one actually came from a song prompt, and the song prompt was a color from the Valspar paint company called Hamster Cuddles, which, if you look it up, is kind of a dusty shade of pink. And I figured this needed to be a lullaby. All right. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Try that again.
I should double it, shouldn't I?
You should.
It's my song. You'd think I'd know. All right. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Sleep, my little one, hush, my little one, gently sleep. Dream of happiness, dream of joyfulness, dream of peace. Teddy bear snuggles and hamster cuddles will keep you safe. Sleep, my little one, gently sleep. We'll guard you, little one, under moon and sun in your nest. Wrap our love around, watch without a sound as you rest. The future's far away, we'll just take today as it comes. Sleep, my little one, gently sleep. We support you and help you grow into your best self. We will care for you, be aware of your needs and health. All too soon we know we will let you go. Until then, sleep, my little one, gently sleep. Sleep, my little one, hush, my little one, gently sleep. Dream of happiness, dream of joyfulness, dream of peace. Teddy bear snuggles and hamster cuddles will keep you safe. Sleep, my little one, gently sleep. We support you and hope you grow into your best self. We will care for you, be aware of your needs and health. All too soon we know we will let you go. Until then, sleep, my little one, gently sleep. The future's far away, we'll just take today as it comes. Sleep, my little one, gently sleep. Sleep, my little one, gently sleep.
Pretty song.
Wonderful.
Yeah, beautiful song. All right, let me pass you on to Daphne. We can learn a little bit more about you and maybe the
That-
songs.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Dan and Faith. That was just beautiful. I've noticed whenever you play for us that your songs always have really sweet and positive messages. So
We try.
is that is that your goal in music? Is that deliberate that this is what we want to do, or just you're just sweet and positive people, or
Maybe a little of both. I mean, we have a couple of songs here and there that are more angry songs,
Or depressing.
yeah,
But
we're telling the stories, and
we
know.
try to tell stories of, some of the stories are real, some of them are imagined, but yeah, we try to tell stories. And one of our goals, and mentors of ours, couldn't leave one of their concerts in a bad mood. And I'd like to model the same. It's like I'd like people to be uplifted by our music.
We like to have a positive message at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That we really need a lot of that
Mhm.
now, don't we?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. So now you told us where you're going to play on your tour, but tell me, I mean, you've mentioned tour before when you were on the show. So do you go often? And how do you decide like what kind of places do you want to play in? How does that all work?
We vary it quite a bit. I do the booking, so it depends on where we're at in terms of where we want to be. But this summer we actually mostly stayed home. We didn't go out on the road near as much as normal.
Because we're doing the recording.
Because we were spending a lot of time in the recording studio,
And
which is
this is our recording studio.
Yeah.
This room right here.
we rearrange it, and it's our full recording studio. And so we do all of our parts here, and then we have an engineer in Woodstock, New York, who does the work from there. But as far as on the road, this time last year we were somewhere in Texas, I think, by this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, we did a grand loop last year. We often do a grand loop sometime in the year. In the springtime, we're usually down the East Coast. Or sometime in the winter, we often are down to Florida because
It's warm.
it's warmer.
We live in New Hampshire. It's warm in Florida. Yeah.
But it really varies. This trip, part of the reason for going out to the Midwest was the Folk Alliance conference. And while we were booking that, I contacted some folks I know about the couple of other possible things to do as part of that trip. If we're going to drive over 1,000 miles somewhere, it might as well have several destinations.
And we have the advantage. When we travel in a camper van that is fully set up. It's got a kitchen with sink and stove and refrigerator, freezer. It's got a bathroom with a shower. We've all the comforts of home. And
You
So we
need me
live in
to
it.
come along? It sounds great.
So the longest we've been out on a single stretch was 3 months. And that was a tour that took us all the way to the West Coast.
and even cooped up in a little camper van after 3 months. Yeah, we were still speaking to each other. So
Good test. So do you record in your camper van ever?
we do live streaming from it.
we have live
Oh,
streaming.
you
We
do?
haven't done Open Mic America from it yet, but we have done many online
We-
shows from there.
We came close. We were contemplating.
Oh, that
leaving,
would have been
last
cool.
night.
Yeah. It
That
is
would have
pretty
been
funny.
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did an online festival the very first time we did this out of the van, and afterwards a friend of ours says, "I'm not sure which is cooler, the fact that you did it from the van, or the fact that you fit all those instruments into the van." Because
That's what I was going to ask you next. Do you take a whole,
Oh yeah, we call ourselves the Seni Expeditionary Force when we travel because we've got his banjo, guitar, and harmonicas, and my bass, ukulele, mandolin, and mountain dulcimer. So yeah.
And we keep a spare guitar on board as well because almost all the songs need guitar, and it'd be really bad if we had a guitar problem.
Yeah. Anything else we can rearrange around, but the guitar is kind of important. Yeah.
So.
right. And so, okay, just before I let you go, tell me about the CD.
So we are working on this new album. We have currently 17 tracks that we're working on. They will not all make the album, but
That's a lot.
Sooner or later we will have to choose our favorite children, and
this is always a painful process.
So it's not your first CD. You've done.
No, this will
before,
be our 6th project.
fifth studio
full
CD.
studio CD.
Three of the ones we have now are still in print, and we're looking forward to getting this one out. We're working with a dear friend who has been absolutely instrumental in finding really positive changes to the songs, and we spent a week with him in April workshopping the songs 8 days in a row, 10 hours a day, and just shook out all of the cobwebs in the songs, and we're very excited about working with him and looking forward to seeing the reaction once we get it
Yeah,
out.
we have been playing many of the shows. The show we played yesterday was almost
Almost
entirely songs that are slated for the album. Which, as I said, not all of them will make it, but these are the songs that we've been playing the most because we are getting more comfortable with them.
Yeah.
How about the ones today? Are they going to be on the album?
Very likely.
Yeah, high likelihood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the Memories is probable but not definite. Gently Sleep is, I'm pretty sure,
It's
going to be on it.
high
So,
probability. Yeah.
Well, that sounds exciting. So enjoy your tour.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And then when you come back here and tell, and
Mhm.
album's ready. We want to hear about that too. So, thank you so much for being with us, Dan. and
Thanks,
Faith.
Daphne.
Thanks for having us.
Back to Rich.
All right. All right. So we are going to stay in New England, and we're going to drive back down now to Massachusetts, where we're going to listen to Thomas Perry from East Bridgewater, Mass. Thomas is a multi-instrumentalist specializing in children's music. He is currently working as a music teacher at Boston Public Schools and also as a private instructor. He hosts an open mic for songwriters at Brothers and Sisters Company in Brookline Village, Mass. And I believe that's going to be October 28th coming up. So, Thomas, you're on.
Hey guys, yeah, thanks. Glad to be here. Great job, Dan and Faith. I'm really proud of all the Massachusetts people in the house tonight. And a quick shout out to my mom and all my sisters who are watching tonight. So I'll play a song I wrote while I was living in Chicago. Probably, this song is about 4 or 5 years old now. Darling, where you been gone for so long? Darling, when you come back home, I'll be gone back. Back home, I'll be gone. Back home, I'll be gone. I wonder where you've gone to and how long it's been. I can't go on living in this state I'm in the state I'm in. In the state I'm in. The state I hang your picture on my wall. I hang it high. Hang your picture on my wall. It's my oh my. It's my oh my. My oh my oh my. It's my oh. See the sprouts as they grow from the ground. I see them grow as I am passing through your town. I'm just passing through your town. And ask me how I'm doing. I'm doing fine. And ask me how I'm doing well. Just don't ask me where I'm going. I can't tell where I'm going. I can't tell. hang a picture on my wall. I hang it high. I hang a picture on my wall. It's my oh my, it's my oh my, it's my oh my oh my.
Oh my,
Very nice.
indeed.
Trying to get a hold of that song, but okay. This one is a song I wrote in this room more recently. Yeah. All right, it's got to be right. Just that note. That's the important one. And living ain't easy. Love's hard to find. Work is never ending, so we walk the line. I lay my burdens down for a while. I left the memories of you at the bottom of the pile. Now let the light shine over me. I couldn't stop the change, but oh, I tried. And your words have stayed with me like a thorn in my side. Friends are few and they're far between. This road is long and winding like a snake, twice as mean. Took your picture down off the wall, but I left the nail it hung on at the end of the hall. Now let the light shine around me. I couldn't stop the change, but oh, I tried. And your words have stayed with me like a thorn in my side. I've been holding on to a dream. I'm always running. I don't know what it means. And I've been saving up all I can. Hard times and heartache, just as much as any man can. Now let the light shine over me. I couldn't stop the change, but with me like a couldn't stop the change, but oh, I tried.
Whoa,
Nice tune.
beautiful.
Very nice, Thomas. All right, let me pass you over to Daphne.
Thomas, welcome to Open Mic America. This is your first time, right?
I was lucky enough to be on it before. Yeah, no, I've been on.
Oh, okay. I guess I missed that one, but I'm glad you're back again. So, your songs, they sound so familiar, but you wrote them, they're just so you just have a knack for that. And it seems like there's a lot to think about, but you use words sparingly and you leave like a lot of room for the listener to digest it. And I really like that. And the way you painted images that are really poignant, but very, very clear. Like the one that stands into my head is you took the picture off the wall, but you left the nail there. That was pretty amazing. And I find your guitar playing hypnotic. So that's just kind of what I heard. But I mean, did you always write and play and sing?
Yeah, well, I've been writing and singing. I was lucky enough to meet a player in East Boston named Matt Hawks, who I always thought it was kind of peculiar, but he would introduce me and say, "This is Tommy. He's a songwriter," and it was really before I wrote any songs. But it made me write songs, and while I was in Chicago, if I could just drop a ton of names, another name. Sue Demmel was a songwriter from Chicago and a teacher at Old Town School of Folk Music. And yeah, I've been kind of working at this craft, and players like Sue Demmel and Matt Hawks, they have like poured into me and supported me.
Why do you think he introduced you like that?
Just hopeful, I guess. I'm not sure.
Must have seen something. Were you already playing the guitar and singing, but just not writing at that point?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Mhm.
he was really cool. A lot of people were really cool to me growing up when I started playing and gifting me instruments and things like the Anthology of American Folk Music, which is really an influential thing to receive as a young songwriter.
Yeah, yeah. So now tell us a little bit about the teaching that you do.
Yeah, I have several really great students in the Boston area. And so I have two piano students and a guitar student right now to start. And my piano student, who will remain anonymous, but he really made my week this week because I went to my lesson. Almost reluctantly, I was missing out on a great folk festival in Connecticut, but I said no. I have to, I have to be there for him. And he said, "I want to know this. I want to learn the song, Mr. Perry. I don't know if you know it." And it was "House of the Rising Sun," and so it's a great intro to folk music and stuff like that today. And
You were glad you did. So you teach private lessons. Is that the kind of music teacher you are? And it's not classroom music. It's you give instrumental lessons and such.
full-time teacher. So I do private lessons on the weekends, and
Mhm.
weekday I'll be in several classrooms,
Ah.
different places in Boston. My first class is at 9:30, and it'll be in the infant room where I'm working with as young as maybe 15 months. So
Mhm.
it's really cool to start with infants and then work my way up from there, toddlers, preschoolers. So it's not always the guitar, but there's always one nearby.
Mhm. I couldn't help but take a peek. Well, and I saw you were playing a violin. So you demonstrate that for the children too.
Oh,
You,
sure. Yeah, the kids love. I'm a fiddle player in Boston, and I
uh-huh.
play old time fiddle, and it's been great to play for the youth, for the kids, because I had probably 10 to 12 kids staring up at me, and I'm playing like an old time standard tune, and they, of course, have not really experienced this before, and they were just kind of bewildered looking at me, and they almost didn't know what to make of it. And I said, "Why aren't you dancing?" And I went back into the tune, and they just erupted in movement and laughter. And kids are amazing in that way. I love sharing that with them.
Well, they need people like you to share that with them, because otherwise all they'll see is videos on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They need you. So tell us two more things. Just number one, you got any special projects coming up? We had everybody else talk about them who did. And then number two, tell us about your fancy looking guitar.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah. So anyone in Massachusetts, I know you're out there. I'm playing at Drumlin Farms on October 28th. That's not right. I'm playing at Drumlin Farm on October 26th and October 27th for Tales of the Night. So I'll be playing fiddle at Drumlin Farm. I might be in costume. I might be.
You'll be incognito. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be like the inconspicuous skeleton playing the bones, playing the fiddle at Drumlin Farm, and telling stories and telling like not so spooky kids stories.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I wish I didn't live in California. Well, I don't wish I didn't live in California, but just for that. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
And the guitar?
This is a guitar I've had it for a few years now. It's very colorful. As you can see.
Yeah.
So, and I've had a lot of help putting this paint on it. A lot from Ossipee Valley String Camp. Kids have colored all over it throughout the years.
Oh my goodness.
It still sounds good.
Yes.
I don't know how the luthiers in the room feel about that, but so,
You could ask Dave after the show.
yeah, I don't know.
I bet he'd approve.
Great.
Well, thank you, Thomas. Thank you for sharing your music with us and telling us about the other work you do also. Come back, Ken, and we'll pass it on to you, Rich.
Hey Thomas, you're killing me, man. Every time I see a little scratch on my guitar, I'm like, oh, where'd that come from? What's going on there? So, maybe that's what I ought to do. I just draw all over my guitar, and then I won't worry about it. Anyway, hey, great set. You sound great. Please come back. All right. Hey, no surprise. We're hanging around in New England, and we are going to Billerica, Mass. Don Gibbs is going to play for us. Don currently performs at Art Grossman's North Reading Community Coffee House and at the Hearing Room open mic. So, Don, you're on.
Okay. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. This is kind of a highlight for me. This first song I'm going to do is one that I wrote a while ago. It's a song that really goes to the fact that life goes by so fast. Sometimes you wish you could just get a handle on it and make time stop. Because usually it's those wonderful times that you just want to hold on to forever, that you wish the world would stop for a moment. But it doesn't, it goes on. But I guess the question is if we maybe loved a little harder or tried a little harder, maybe we could make time stand still. And that's what this is called. It's called World Stand Still. The evening light, well, it's fading into the glow of all those stars. And if wishes could be granted, then please just make this moment last. Don't know why you cannot hold it. Seems it's here then quickly gone. But if it can't go on forever, just got to keep it for as long a time as we can hold it and pray the feeling doesn't fade. 'Cause there's a thief on the horizon, he steals that passion with the day. And though that light as warm, it'll keep you from the cold. It quickly robs you of that fire that burns deep inside your soul. So drink it all in, take a deep breath, then maybe do it all over again, till that light breaks through and it's gone forever. If only for now, just for the time, we could live in the moments we have. And if you would smile, and if you would reach out, I could melt in the palm of your hand. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. So drink it all in, take a deep breath, then maybe do it all over again, till that light breaks through and it's gone forever. If only for now, and just for the time, we could live in the moments we have. And if you would smile, if you would reach out, I could melt in the palm of your hand. And if all we have is all that we give, well then maybe the world will stand still.
Very nice. Great song.
Next song is one, I was listening to a piano player, a semi-famous piano player, and he was talking about going to Paris, France, sitting on the banks of the Seine River with his ex-wife, having a picnic. And at the time I was writing this song, I couldn't pay my way to Paris, Maine, never mind Paris, France. And this song is written to people who work really hard to pay their bills, work really hard to make ends meet, work really hard to try to survive in a world where it's just a grind from day to day. The song's called Pressin' On. Well, there's a waitress in a diner in Kentucky. She's pouring coffee, she's giving smiles all on demand. And though the hours and the wages never been all they could be, with a family, this is how she lends a hand. And there's a truck on a highway in Nebraska, and dreams, they're getting lost in miles of corn. And though we'd never trade that beat up red for a high rise with a view, he can't help but feeling tired and somewhat torn. 'Cause there are hopes that never reach the Seine in Paris, and plans that sometimes made along the way. But it's that sweat and pain and trust in God that keeps them pressing on and working in the grind of day to day. And there's a miner in southern West Virginia. He's living underground for much time in his day. He breathes that soot and dust to keep the trust of a girl he's loved since school, so they can raise the kids they've been given on the way. And there's a mom on the streets of northern Philly, raising boys without a father and a job. And though she pours in them her heart and soul with what money she can give, you know the hope for their protection, it's up to God. 'Cause there are hopes that never reach the sane in Paris, and plans that are sometimes made along the way. But it's that sweat and pain and trust in God that keeps them pressing on and working in the grind of day to day. 'Cause it's easy to blame it all on money and on all those things you think you haven't got. But if you take the time to count it all, I think you find you got a lot. And it's kept you in those battles that you fought, like on the fires of Gary, Indiana, and on the storms of Texas in the spring, like on the heat of Mobile on an August afternoon. Ride the prayers and tears the faithful bring. 'Cause there are hopes that never reach the sane in Paris, and plans that are sometimes made along the way. But it's that sweat and pain and trust in God that keeps them pressing on.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Very nice. Okay, before I pass you on to Daphne, I just want to make a correction. You're in Billerica, Massachusetts.
That's the way the
right?
locals pronounce it, is Billerica.
Yes, yes. Shame on me. I mean, I looked online. I couldn't find it, but
It looks like Billerica, but
it does. I know. Thank you,
kind
Diane.
of like America, but not quite.
Right. Okay. let me pass you on to Daphne, and you can have more of a discussion on the origination. You know, where that name came from and how people should pronounce it. There you go.
Well,
Daphne,
I
there
want
you
to
go.
talk about his music. So there. So Don, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You were a master storyteller, especially in that second song. My goodness. Sounds, I mean, I understand how you said it. You said where it came from, but you could tell by listening that it came straight from your heart. And
Thank you.
not only that, but I could hear a whole band playing that song. I really could. It's just that good, that kind of a song. So thank you for sharing it. And the first song about being in the moment and seizing it reminded me of an episode of Hidden Brain where they talked about how we naturally focus on negative things because of survival. If we don't notice all those bad things, then, you know, stuff might get us, right? So that's why it's so natural, but we have to be very deliberate in thinking about the good things and savoring them to make ourselves happier. And your song was just so perfect
Thank you.
explaining that all. Thank you. So have you recorded these?
No, I have not.
Have you no?
I've only recorded one CD. I recorded it back in 2018, and yeah, I've never recorded a lot of the songs that I perform now. So, and I'm not a big performer. I don't perform a lot. I I'm a dumb pharmaceutical engineer. So I mean, I don't. So this is. I mean, I love music, and music is such a big part of my life. But unfortunately, it's just life doesn't always give you a lot of time to get out and actually do it.
Right. How did you get started doing all this?
Um, well, it's funny. I used to play back in the, I'm an older guy, so I mean, played in bands back in the 80s and early 90s, rock and roll, played clubs around Boston, stuff like that. And then, just life takes over. You have kids, you have a marriage that you're working on. And I mean, my wife's been so patient with me, but when you're doing things you can't, you gotta make your life work. And so music is something that I do I love it, but it's something that I do as for fun and for pleasure, and gives me great joy.
Actually, I think that's the best reason to play music ever. I think we make too big a deal sometimes out of making it and being known. And if that's what it gives you, then how wonderful is that?
Absolutely.
So, and I see you have a lot of gear over there. Do you like to collect it? Do you use it
I,
all?
I have way more gear than I have talent. So I mean,
No.
it's just one of those things where I once again, I mean, I love new things and new gear and new instruments. I play them differently. I feel different when I play them, and as a result, different sounds come out, and those different sounds make me feel happy and excited.
Did you write when you played with the other bands, or is that something newer? Did you write songs for those
I did
bands?
write songs for those other bands. The first band I played in, no, I didn't write songs. We had
Uh-huh.
a songwriter who was just an amazing songwriter. He ends up now he's the department chair of sociology at Notre Dame University. So I mean he's
Mhm.
an absolutely brilliant individual, and he wrote some really great songs. But the second band that I played in, I did do some writing, because there just wasn't a lot of writers. So somebody had to write music we were going to play. So I started writing songs back then. And like I said, then after a while, kind of took a long hiatus. But recently I've been, kids are out, kids are, doing great. And so now it's time to start playing and writing some songs. And like I said, I've done one CD. If anybody's interested, it's called A View from Below. You can see it on YouTube. You don't have to pay anything. Just search on me, Don Gibbs, A View from Below, and you can listen to it. But I'm actually I want to play some more and do some more recordings and just try to sort of ease myself back into playing again. So this is just a great opportunity for me.
That's what I was going to ask. So how did you find us?
I found you because I do the Hearing Room open mic, and there's a guy there named Mark Bishop Evans.
Yes.
He
Yes.
actually was the one who recommended me to play and gave
Mhm.
me the recommendation to Dave, and so that's how I ended up on here.
So you do a lot of virtual open mics, since that's how you kind of getting back into
Yeah,
things,
the virtual open
virtual?
mics I mean, the Hearing Room has been like a big step for me in my journey back into music, and they've been great there.
So here's just something that I'm curious about. So you decided, okay, now I'm going to get back into music, and suddenly songs just come to you and you write them? Is
Um,
that how it worked?
I'm- to be truthful, I really don't know how it works. I mean, it's
Mhm.
oftentimes, you're just playing with a few chords, and you just realize like, oh, that sounds really cool. I like that. And then but it gives
Mhm.
you a certain feeling about something. And usually for me, like songs that I've written usually have something that really sparked them. Like there's this spark, like that piano player who made that comment about,
Mhm.
it was a moment that just hit me like, that's important. And then, like recently I've been writing a lot of songs because my father passed away back in 2016, and that's just such a big emotional strain, and it's an impactful moment. And I think that those impactful moments really spur you into sort of needing to do something that captures it. And so that's really what songwriting ends up being for me, are these ways to be able to capture these heavy emotional moments and be able to sort of hold them in time and, to be able to revisit them. And it's a way of not losing something. So songs about my father, or songs about growing older, or songs about life, or songs about kids, that's really for me, what songwriting is.
Wow. I'm really glad you told us that, Don. Thank you for sharing your music and for sharing those thoughts with us as well. Please come back and yes, and write more and play more.
Amen.
I hope you get to, yes. So now before he does it himself, which he can, oh, everyone's clapping for you. Before he does it himself, I would like to introduce our host, our MC, Rich Fassler, who is going to perform for us next. And he can introduce himself also, but I couldn't just ignore him.
Thank you, Daphne. It just
Back
goes
to
to
you,
show.
Rich. Introduce the next performer.
Oh yeah, personal favorite of mine, I'll tell you. Just goes to prove that anybody can be. No, I'm only kidding. Okay, yeah, great. Hey, listen, Don, I really like you're talking about how every instrument was different and they just sound different, and so that's why you have so many instruments. That's the discussion I use at home when I buy a new guitar, and it usually works. Okay, so yes, I am Rich Fassler. I am from wonderful, wonderful Bainbridge Island. When the weather's wonderful, it's wonderful. So I play at locally at Fletcher Bay Winery Open Mic, and I am also 1/3 of the Harmony Wombats, who we're a trio who play around Kitsap County, where Bainbridge Island is part of. And we got some shows coming up this month at the Hood Canal Brewery in Kingston. It's always a fun time. And we're also going to be playing later this month at the Ravine and also the Wing Point Country Club. Both of those are in Bainbridge Island. So if you ever make it up here in the middle of nowhere, no, if you ever make it up here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, hopefully you can catch one of our shows. So, and as it turned out, so tonight I'm going to play a couple of tunes, and they are influenced by Bainbridge Island and the weather up here in the Pacific Northwest. Well, not necessarily the weather. Anyway, so here we go. I'm going to play them as I wrote them. And so the first song that I'm going to play is called Just Today. Let me get it on here. And it was written, I've been up here about 4 years now, moved up from California, and it was written maybe about 2 years ago. So I'd only gone through, a couple of winters, and they were kind of pretty mild winters. And so here we go. The big dark, as we call it up here, hadn't really affected me yet. The second song, we'll talk about that. But here we go. This is called Just Today. My alarm is singing, it's a brand new day, covered by a ray of sun, impossible to stay. Birds are at the feeder, dogs are at the door, ready to uncover scents of things that came before. Island air so clean, feels good to breathe it in. Ferry line is filling up, taking folks to work again. Current times are changing, yet some people still want more. They think they have the answers, but they might not know the score. Walking round the edge of the sound around Eagle Harbor Trail, the barred owl asking, who cooks for you? The forests and the mountains with their peaks all covered white. Traveling life's amazing trail, exploring things with you. Well, it's alright. Yeah, I'm okay. The closer I am to shutting down, the more I want to play. Well, take my hand, my soul and heart. We'll draw ourselves a plan to understand the way that we should start just today. Well, I'm walking around the edge of the Sound around Eagle Harbor Trail. The part I'll ask in, who cooks for you? The forests and the mountains with their peaks all covered white. Just traveling life's amazing trail, exploring things with you. Well, that's alright. Yeah, I'm okay. The closer I get to shutting down, the more I want to play. Well, take my hand, my soul and heart. We'll draw ourselves a plan to understand the way that we should start just today.
Oh, how lovely.
Thank you very much. And so, yeah, so, when we first moved up here, it was, everything was really new, and it was, kind of cool. And, I was listening to animals I'd never heard before. We're right across from Seattle, but you have to take a ferry to get here from Seattle. And so, it's mostly just a bunch of trees and forests and stuff up here. There are about 25,000 people, but many of them are just close to the downtown area, which is where the ferry comes in. So we do have this thing called Big Dark, where starting about now we lose a lot of sunlight, and it gets dark really early, and it stays dark. Probably till about 8 o'clock in the morning. And it kind of gets depressing. And so one winter, I think it was, probably a winter or two ago, it was just terrible. It was gray and cold and moist, as it is here during the winter. Summers are fantastic, but the winter's pretty depressing. Anyway, so I got this little line in my head. It's another gray day on the island of Bainbridge. And so here's how this song rolled out. Well, it's another gray day on the island of Bainbridge. Yeah, cold, wet day on Puget Sound. Would it be too much to ask for a little bit of sunshine to warm my body before the sun goes down? Well, in 2019, I was living in Cali. Yeah, a nice little house on a warm, sunny street. The wife said, man, we are moving from this valley. Well, there's too many people and I can't take the heat. So we loaded up the truck but didn't move to Beverly, no. Instead we headed up north towards the Salish Sea. Are we there yet, I asked. She said, quit that whining. We aren't stopping this car till we get to the island. Well, it's another great day on the island of Bainbridge. Yeah, a cold, wet day on Puget Sound. Would it be too much to ask for a little bit of sunshine to warm my body before the sun goes down? So for 2 years I'm a moaning and my wife said, bud, you gotta open your eyes, you're just a stick in the mud. Yeah, the sun ain't shining, but there's so much to do. Just look around, man, if you're needing a clue. We got trails through the Grand Forest. We got walks around the shore. We got views of snow-capped mountains. If that ain't enough, we got more. Restaurants, wineries, and breweries, and great musicians too. Cool stuff from local artists, and a free museum of art too. Yeah, that's true. It's free. So after thinking about it, my mind started spinning. Was it time to move on and embrace a new beginning? A little sunbreak appeared and I thought, could I be wrong? That's when I knew it was time to write this song. Here we go. So it's another great day on the island of Bainbridge. Yeah, it's another fine day on the Puget Sound. You don't need a lot of sun to have a whole bunch of fun, 'cause there's so much to like in this little island town. Yeah, it's another great day. Yeah, it's another great day. It's another great day on the island of Bainbridge. Come on over and visit, then take the ferry out of town. And there you have it.
That's great.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
That was great. Well, back over to me.
Yeah, well, now on to Donna. Maybe we can find out something about you.
Hey, Rich. So, first of all, you make me want to come spend like a week visiting you over there and seeing all those things, despite your complaining about them. It doesn't matter.
No, I do have to say, moving here from California was tough because, let's face it. I mean, the weather is, even when the weather's bad in California, it's okay. And winters are depressing. It's not necessarily that we get a whole lot of rain. Boston gets more rain than we do up here, but it's just it's constant. I mean, you can go days and days without seeing the sun, and it's moist, and you have fungus and moss and stuff. But the summers are fantastic. I mean, our last summer up here, just this past summer, we didn't have any rain at all. It was just blue skies, and you get the blue water, and you get the snow-capped mountains, and you get the forest, and I mean, it's really and the whales. I mean, it's really, really cool. That's it.
Okay, well, I've heard you perform a lot in the past, and it's almost always, not always, often it's about time and place. You just love to write about time and place, it seems. So, and this was no exception. And it's always with this light touch that you have, even though you're saying hard things sometimes. And I really love that. So, and it's really kind of funny because you moved from the Bay Area, which I know well, and you think everything's going on there, but then you go to this place that for me is like the middle of nowhere, and yet now you are in a band and there's this music community and all that. How did you do that?
Yeah, so that was the toughest part for me about leaving the Bay Area, because I was in this this band for like 15 years, and the guys that I was in the band with, we were all friends, and we sounded great together. And coming up here, we moved up here right before COVID. And so I did meet a couple of musicians, put some ads in the local paper and online, and I met a couple of guys. And then COVID hit and everything shut down, and thank God for virtual open mics, right? And so afterwards, I attended some open mics, and I made some important connections. This island has a lot of retired musicians, all kinds, all genres, and so I made a good connection to a guy who'd been here for 40 years, and through him I learned of other open mics, and then made some connections with people, and the rest is history. I really enjoy playing in the trio I'm in now, and there are a lot of gigs. That's the challenge with every band, right? I mean, you can sound great, but then you have to go out and get gigs. And here on the island, and within 5, 10, 15 miles away, there are a lot of breweries and pubs and wineries, and so we don't have to take the ferry to go to Seattle. I mean, there's a lot going on in Seattle, but even across the water in Kitsap County, there's a lot going on. So yeah, it turned out great.
And are you writing a lot?
I'm not writing as much as I want to because I hate to say that. I mean, it's funny saying this because I'm retired, right? But man, I find it hard to sit down for a couple hours and find time to write. I start a lot of songs, but finish very few, right? So yeah, I need to do more of that, and I also have the equipment and the software to record here in my little office studio that I'm in. So the answer to the question is no, I don't, but I want to.
But I want you to, because I love hearing all your songs. So it would be fun if you brought in new ones. That's your assignment. How's that?
I will take that assignment.
Oh, great. Now, but how did you start writing stuff, Rich? I mean,
well, hey, listen, there's a lady on today's show who got me writing songs again. I was in bands in high school and wrote songs. We're talking about the mid to late 60s and early 70s, and most of those songs need to live back then. But it was Diane
really?
Bastello who told me about this. We were on a different open mic, and I asked her, hey, do you know of any other open mics? She said, well, there's one called Open Mic America, but you have to, it's only original music. You have to write music. I said, oh, let me, I'll check it out. And I was really impressed. And so, I wrote a couple of songs and posted it, and passed it on to Dave, and the rest is history.
Oh, that's great. So it's not that long ago that you restarted this. That's very cool. So just before we go to the next performance, tell us a little bit about the Wombats and like, where did that name come from and what do you play?
Yeah, so the Harmony Wombat. So keep in mind, when I was in the Bay Area, it was an old geezer rock band, right? We did covers and from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and it was all rock and roll. Up here, I mean, there are rock and roll bands, but people are into folk rock and folk and Americana, and so I got together with another guy, another transplant who came from Southern California, and we harmonized really well together. And we were doing some country songs. He's really big into country and western stuff like that. And so I said, hey, okay, so we're gonna play. We need a name. And so he said, well, hey, we harmonize pretty well. So, okay, so it's the Harmony something. What are we? The Harmony Brothers, the Harmony, blah, blah, blah. And so we're thinking about it. And this guy, people kept on, he's actually performing here, Eric Ackerman. His email address was eric.wombat@gmail.com. I probably shouldn't say that online. He's going to get all kinds of stuff. Anyway.
All right, everyone, write to Eric.
Yeah, everybody write to Eric. Anyway, I said, so I said, well, why don't we just call ourselves the Harmony Wombats? And so we liked it. It was stupid. It was crazy. We have these shirts, that we bought that have wombats on them when we perform, and people remember it because it's
of
just
course.
crazy. So there we are. We are the.
So you just like to have fun, and I love that.
We do. We have a lot of when we
great.
play. Well, actually, before I go, at all of our gigs, we have a tambourine contest where the winner gets to take home their very own stuffed wombat.
What's a tambourine contest?
Well, we just play a song and we invite people up to play
That's
the tambourine
brave.
to a part
That's
of the
really
song.
brave. Oh
It-
my goodness.
It is, but it yeah, but it's a lot of fun, and it engages the audience, and
Sure.
the winner gets to take home a stuffed wombat.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for telling us all that. Makes me want to come to Bainbridge Island even
should
more
come.
now to come to
Make
hear
sure
the
it's
wombats
make sure it's after June 15th.
in the summer, right?
Yes.
Okay. And thank you for hosting our show too, Rick. You've been such a stalwart for us. So
I enjoy hosting the show.
so now
I guess
let's got this back to you, Rick.
And now back to me.
Yes.
Your MC. So next we are going to the Midwest. We're gonna listen to John Gary. I believe he's been on this program many times. I know I've seen him on other open mics. John plays at the Jenks Building Listen Room, supporting local artists 4 days a week on 2 stages. He can also be seen at the Bent Ladder Winery in Rittman, Ohio. He's going to be there on October 21st. And he's got a 2.5-hour show of all original music. And you can find more of his music at garsongsmusic.com. And there's links to his social media and Bandcamp site there. So, John, you're on.
Thanks, Rich. How are you?
Doing good. Good to see you.
Did liked your songs. Very good. So I've got a couple of songs I'm going to do. First one's called "The Beating of Our Hearts," which is a song about missing somebody. I'll just leave it at that, and we'll go from there. So. With each day, I get a little closer to the day when I can be with you. And each day, I pray a little harder for the thought help me make it through. In so little time, it seems we are together. So long a time, it feels when we're apart. So let's find the time to be with one another and count these days with the beating of our hearts. Tell me why time seems to stand still when it is with you. I want to be. And tell me why the hours go so quickly when we're alone. It's only you and me, and so little time. It seems we are together. It's so long a time. It feels when we're apart. So let's find the time to be with one another and count these days with the beating of our hearts. Yes, count these days with the beating of our hearts.
Bravo.
Thank you. All right. My second song is inspired by, I'm an early riser, most often before the sun rises. And so I've seen lots of sunrises. And so this song is kind of inspired by a sunrise that I saw one summer morning, just as the sun's kind of coming up over the horizon, and you see those kind of rays of light that are coming through the trees. So the song is called Say Hello to the Morning. It goes like this. Say hello to the morning, for the night has passed away. Watch the sunrise over your shoulder, and say hello to the new day. Can I give the love I have to you? Will you take these things I have? I give them all to you. Sweetly say I love you, and you know I always will. Now it's morning, I'm beside you, and you know I love you still, and I'll give the love I have to you. You can take these things I have, I give them all to you. And say hello to the morning.
Wow.
Oh, how
Beautiful,
beautiful.
John.
Thank you.
Let me pass you over to Daphne.
Hi again, John. It's good to have you back on this program.
Thank you, Daphne.
You've been with us so many times and we love it. It's like you play such beautiful guitar and your songs have this this calming beauty to them. But they also have longing in them. So it always seems to be like all woven in together to me anyway. So pretty. Where do you like to bring your music to besides us?
Well, I'm at this point playing out at open mics and shows about 3 nights a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I post. I'll as I get into winter, and we're getting into winter now in Ohio. Fall
Mm-hmm.
today in Ohio. So we had to turn the heat on last night for the very first time.
Oh, wow.
After I'd spent a week out in California last week.
Yeah, it's
So
still 90 degrees here.
yeah, we were in Southern California. So, but even in visiting, as I visited on vacation, so we were in the Temecula area, and I reached out to some people I found in that area and said, "Where can I go play?" So I took a guitar and got to play 3 nights while I was out last week. Um, so I'm playing in a lot of venues in this area: Cleveland, Akron, Canton, Youngstown, Medina area. But I also do virtual shows, and I'll do more virtual shows as I get into winter. And I also like to spend a lot of time supporting our local musicians here. So I run an open mic myself, and then I do a showcase performer at that particular open mic to bring in people. So we get new performers coming in who get to see someone who's really more accomplished at what they do, and I'm becoming the open mic to go to because I'm already booked out into next summer for my showcase performers.
Wow.
And so it's just a lot of really becoming very involved in the music community here in this area.
So you're not only playing music, but you are facilitating music a lot.
Yes. Hmm.
Do you take your guitar with you whenever you travel?
I have been, yes.
On a plane?
I take this one. I have a nice gator case
Oh, uh-huh.
that this guitar fits into, and it got reviewed by the TSA this last time. I found the little card in my guitar case.
Oh, they reviewed it. Oh, good. They should have
did.
just asked you to play a tune for them, right?
They wanted to know what was in this case.
Oh, well, there's your guitar. So,
Yes.
So you've been writing for forever?
I've been writing since the age of 16, so yes, like forever.
Well, who got you started? Did you have like a mentor or someone who inspired you or influenced?
Not really. It was just a matter of, as a teenager, having something that I wanted to say, and then from that point, kind of identifying feelings and thoughts and things I wanted to capture. I think Bob kind of mentioned this earlier, that I have a very similar story, that songs I write capture moments in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a good way to then kind of remember what went on during that period of time.
What went on inside as well as
Yes.
the events themselves.
Right.
Yeah, I love the way Don put it, and I love what you're adding to it also. We learn a lot from that. So you're facilitating the open mics and you play out. Is there any other thing that you're up to that you want to tell us about, or?
Well, I'm working on my 7th CD right now, my 7th release. Those 2 songs will be on it. I think the last
Are
time
they all solo? Are they solo, just you and the guitar?
Oh,
or?
no, I do full band performance and play all the instruments.
What instruments do you play?
I play guitar and piano, and I've got bass guitars here, and I mean that first song, there was actually a piano song. I wrote it on piano. But
You've never played piano for us, have you?
I have not, no.
Well, you could.
I could, but I play all those instruments. The only one I don't play is drums, and I do MIDI drums, but I always build my drum lines out measure by measure. So I don't use loops. I don't use loops at all.
Wow. And you record it all yourself?
I record everything myself, yes.
Wow.
I've purchased the equipment and the software and the computers to do all of that, and spend an enormous amount of time at that. And I have a wife who supports me in doing it. So
that's wonderful.
Like was mentioned earlier, the kids are gone. My parents are gone. Mm-hmm. My wife's parents are gone. It's just, we're empty nested, and
thank God for music, right?
Yes, yeah, she supports what I do. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I'm so glad she does, and that you get to come here and perform for us. And I hope your CD comes out soon and you tell us about it and you come back on the show.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Rich, you're going to introduce the person who's taking us out and home, huh?
Yes. So it's hard to believe it, but we are at the last performer for tonight's show. And we are going all the way to Asheville, North Carolina to hear Chuck Brodsky. Chuck has shows in Michigan, Ann Arbor, and Jackson this coming Friday and Sunday afternoon. And October 27th, he's going to be in Black Mountain, North Carolina. And you can get details on all those and other shows at chuckbrodsky.com. So, Chuck, you are on. There we
To unmute.
Yep, you're good.
I'm good. No, I don't think I am.
You are.
Okay. It's saying that on my screen it's saying I'm muted, but I'll trust you. Everybody sounded
We
great
hear
tonight.
you.
Good. Okay. Everybody sounded great tonight. I'm really happy to be part of this. Thank you for having me. This song is about a young man back in World War II who was a forger of documents, and the partisans fighting the Nazis found out about him and his talents. He was living in Paris and eventually became known as the Paris Forger. A book was written by his daughter about him called A Forger's Life. His name was Adolfo Kaminsky, and he was only in his, I guess, late teens and early 20s when he started doing this, and his work allowed tens of thousands of people to escape death. And even after World War II, he kept forging documents, identity papers for people to flee repressive regimes and wars around the world, right on through the end of the Vietnam War. So this is called The Forger. Up on the third floor, I used to rent a room. It got no fresh air. You could get dizzy from the fumes. I'd spend the nights in there. Maybe I'd sleep a few winks. Clear a place somewhere between the papers and the inks. I had a printing press. It was my Tommy gun. And I dreamed I'd ambush them whenever it would run. I couldn't shoot a man. Well, this was what I could do with my documents. The guards would have waved them through. I didn't know them. I never met them. But how could I turn away and just forget them? Still can picture some of their faces. They were desperate to leave for safer places. I was an artisan, a counterfeiter. I had a steady hand that didn't get the jitters. One day the partisans told me my skills were needed, 'cause there was madness on the rise that had to be defeated. I doctored names, altered their ages, put a different place of birth upon the pages. I made them businessmen, I made them teachers, made them someone else with all the same features. I didn't know them, I never met them. But how could I turn away and just forget them? I still can picture some of their faces. They were desperate to leave for safer places. I'd meet my handler in busy cafes. We
would trade envelopes, then go our separate ways. No time for small talk, too many lives at stake, passports to reproduce. All night I'd be awake. I worked in secrecy, nobody knew of this, not even my daughter or my wife. It was just too much risk. They said I worked too much, and I couldn't tell them why. But now I have to tell someone before I die. I didn't know them, I never met them, but how could I turn away and just forget them? I still can picture some of their faces. They were desperate to leave for safer places. They were desperate to leave for safer places. They were desperate to leave.
Wow.
Wow.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
This one is called What Good Did It Do? Let me just get a little drink of water. So let me fix this one string.
I collected my prize. I took first place. For runner-up, a sad look on her face. Didn't drink the champagne, left my ribbon there too. Okay, so I won, but what good did it do? Okay, so I won, but what good did it do? I stood with conviction, I put up a fight for the truth as I saw it, for peace, love, and light. I fought off the darkness for the first round or two. I got my licks in, but what good did it do? I got my licks in, but what good did it do? In the end I was right, upon further review. All those things I was saying proved to be true. I got an admission, an apology too. In the end I was right, but what good did it do? In the end I was right, but what good did it do? Tried to live by my morals, I spoke my mind. Some friends got offended, one or two they resigned. I was just being honest, and they already knew. I just tried to remind them, but what good did it do? I tried to remind them, what good did it do? And I could hold a grudge, I could probably hold two. If I didn't learn to budge, could end up holding quite a few. I didn't like being angry, it's not enough being right. be happy with all of my might than to sit here and stew. What good would it do to sit here and stew? What good would it do? I'd rather be happy, happy with you.
Wow.
Cool little tune. Nice. All right, let me pass you on to Daphne.
What a great set to end this show with, Chuck. You're such a good storyteller. The first song, like, how did you decide it was going to be in first person? I was wondering. It was very, very cool that you did it that way. And I also really love those rhymes that you did with the 2 syllables for each of the rhymes. That you don't hear that very often, but it just nailed it every time. It was such a great story.
Thank you. I don't know where I decided to do it in the first person. I honestly don't remember. It
Mhm.
just seemed like a good approach, I suppose.
Did got you into his head. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's fun to do that. It's fun to write from somebody else's perspective and try to get into their head.
Yeah, I love that song. We all need to hear that kind of story too. And I love the way your second song, you didn't set it up at all, but you kept giving all these little examples, and you made us as a listener be really active, thinking like, okay, where's he going with that? Oh yeah, as the pieces are starting to come together. And then, we kind of come to our own conclusion a little bit towards the end of the song. Then you hit us with it, and it's like, yes. Now I see how it all gets tied together, and it's very, very satisfying. So thank you
It's
for
funny,
that
that's
one.
probably my only song that doesn't have an introduction, or
Uh-huh.
one of just a couple, because I do tend to have stories and intros before all my songs, just to engage with the audience a bit more. And it's actually very unusual for me to have a song that doesn't have an intro, but I just never really came up with anything to say about it that the song itself doesn't say. So I don't know. It's good to.
It's more engaging that you don't, because you don't want to tell us what the conclusion is for this before you start. I mean, like the idea is unfolding as you're singing the song, and it's much more an active listening kind of a thing. I think that was very effective. I enjoyed both of them in completely different ways. So
Thank you.
thank you for those. So I mean, you've been working and writing as a musician for a very, very long time. So was there somebody in your life that inspired or encouraged or mentored you to do this?
Well, when I was a toddler, my aunt was, she was very musical all her life, and she encouraged me. I would gravitate towards the piano when I was an infant. There are pictures of me on her lap at 10 months old, and me reaching through the bars of my crib to finger the piano. And by the time I was 2, I was sitting there by myself, and she picked up on that and was really proud of that she had passed music on to me. So she always encouraged me. But, in terms of mentors, it probably wasn't until later on, maybe when I got to college or beyond that, when I started seeing particular songwriters as real role models, and then started going to festivals like the Kerrville Folk Festival in Texas, where I would actually meet some of these people around campfires, swapping songs with little old me. And, some of those people became friends and encouraged me. So.
Wow. So I'd love to see that picture of you as a baby reaching through
Here's
the slats of your
I may
crib.
have it handy to see if that comes. Yeah, there it is.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
I just happen to have it loaded, not for some other reason, but
That's you and your aunt?
Yeah, that's 10 months old, I think.
Oh my gosh.
But I've got some really great other photos too of around that age and a couple years older. Thankfully, my grandmother was really into taking Polaroid pictures back then, and I've got a handful that are just, really special to me like that.
That was beautiful. So you are a multi-instrumentalist. I wanted to ask you about that because I saw the piano, the guitars. I see I think a violin or something like that hanging on the wall.
Yeah, piano was my first instrument. The pandemic gave me a chance to come back to it because I'd really gotten rusty. A lot of years went by where I wasn't able to play it, and then I acquired a digital one and didn't like it, and finally got a digital one that I liked, and then had time. So I've reincorporated it into my concerts. Funny enough, my very first concert as a college student was 100% piano because I didn't play guitar yet, and had to, I realized I needed to make the switch because the digital piano hadn't been invented yet, and I didn't want to be at the mercy. I knew I wanted to be a professional musician one day, but I didn't want to be at the mercy of whatever condition the pianos might be in venue to venue. So I knew I had to switch to guitar, and then piano just ended up falling by the wayside for a bunch of years until recently. So that's where my joy is. And I think it might have been Don earlier that was talking about playing for the joy that the music gives him. I'm not sure if it was Don, but I think I remember correctly.
Yes, it was.
And honestly, that's my biggest joy in life is sitting at my piano. No one has to be around, but just, getting immersed in making music for my own enjoyment. And the fact that I can share it with people and make a career out of it's been great. But, first and foremost, it's always been for me. And I'm, happy that it never got squashed by the business side of music,
Personally, I think that is the best reason of all. Yeah. That all the rest is fluff, But speaking of sharing things with other people, you guide or tell me about what you do with people when you go to Ireland or Scotland with them and how that all works.
Well, I started out playing gigs in Ireland years and years ago, and I did that. I did 17 tours over there that way, and then I fell in. My booking agent died, and around the same time, a friend of mine started a little tour company led by singer-songwriters who would sell the slots to 22 of their fans and take them over. So I started doing that 15 or 16 years ago, and at this point I've done 25 Ireland tours, and they're 10 days, and they're music tours. They're not about me and my music, although I do play a couple of private concerts for the tour groups, but we hire some of the very, very, very best traditional musicians and a couple of songwriters in all of Ireland, and they play private concerts for us in our hotels, and we go other nights out to pubs for great traditional music, and we have a full-time guide travel with us, so our day trips by bus are, informative but not too much, and we spend 3 nights in each of 3 different locations and do day trips from them. So they're fantastic tours, and a few years ago, a friend of mine who has a different tour company that specializes in Scotland tours approached me and wondered if I'd want to do the same kind of tours through her in Scotland, and we've done 5 of those so far, and they have been wildly successful, and next year we're expanding a bit, a new itinerary, and anyway, it's been great for me because the income from it's allowed me to not have to be on the road as much as I used to pre-pandemic. It's filled in some gaps for me, and I love both countries. I love going over there and getting to meet more and more people and hear more and more Irish and Scottish music. So if anybody's interested in ever coming with me, they can find all the information about either Scotland or Ireland tours at chuckbrodsky.com.
Yes, and your website is listed on this YouTube video on the and also on our music Open Mic America website, so people can find you. Well, it sounds very exciting. I'm thinking about that now. Thank you so much for playing for us and sharing all of that. And now I'm going to pass it back to Rich. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Daphne. So here we are at the end of another great show. I'd like to thank our performers. Please wave when I call your name. Diane Battistello, Dan and Faith, Thomas Perry, Don Gibbs, Rich Fassler, John Gary, and Chuck Brodsky. So remember to check our website, openmicamerica.com, for links to the music of all of our OMA performers, and you can find archives of all of our shows there as well. I want to thank Ron Smith, our engineer, who's done a super job, and Daphne Ramil for some really great interviewing on tonight's show. I want to thank all the people out there in YouTube land who are watching the show and this and other shows from Open Mic America. And listen, if you like this show, please spread the word. Don't keep it a secret. You can even download and print your own posters. I've got one over there, I think, from our website, and hang them somewhere where folks can see them, so we can get more and more people to view the show. And you can, and you know, we've had people ask about this. They're so popular. Your very own Open Mic America T-shirt. These are available. You can get them through openmicamerica.com website. They are very high quality, and you know, who wouldn't want one of these shirts, right? I mean, they're really, really kind of cool. Please check out your local and virtual open mics. I mean, that's what we're here promoting. We've listed the ones where our performers play under the local open mics tab on the website. And listen, we're here the first 3 Sundays of every month. So our next show will be Sunday, October 14th, same time, same station. Stay tuned for our next full lineup of performers. I'm going to ask all of our performers to mute themselves and wave. Listen, thanks again for watching tonight's show, and good night, America.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.